Dear students, hello and welcome to this lecture in marketing management. Today we are going to talk about pricing strategies. This is the part 2 of the lecture. So in the slides to come, I'll take you through some pricing strategies wherein we will see what each strategy means, and then through the help of the example we will try to understand these. So let me start the slides. Before coming to today's strategies, let us give a quick recap to whatever we have learnt in the last lecture of pricing. We have learnt about some basic fundamentals that I would like to take a recap of. The first point says that the price refers to the amount of the money that a buyer pays in order to acquire the product or the experience of the service. So, price is the amount of money that the consumer has to pay in order to acquire the product or experience the service, and from price comes pricing. So, pricing is actually the process of fixation of the price. So, whenever there is a product that a manufacturer makes or there is a service that is generated by a service provider, it is very important for the manufacturer or the service provider to fix the price of the product or the service, so that it can be sold in the market. Now, pricing refers to the process of the fixation of price, and it is a tricky process because the manufacturer or the service provider has to fix the best price. Why best price? The best price is the one that is acceptable both to the manufacturer as well as to the consumer, or the best price is the price at which the product is sold in the market. So, this is it, and we all know that pricing is a very complicated process. So, it is not easy to fix the price of a product or a service. It is generally a complicated process, and there are a lot of factors which are taken into consideration while fixing the price of a product or a service. So, what are those factors we have studied? So, those are the factors include consumers, the competitors, and the various other elements of the marketing environment, both internal as well as external. So, these are the factors which are taken into consideration while fixing the price of a product or a service. Now, these are certain strategies which are mentioned here, and we have already covered these strategies in the previous lecture. So, let me just give me a quick recap of all these, and then we move on to the strategies of today. So, the first strategy is value based pricing. As we discussed, value based pricing takes into consideration the demand of the consumers and how the consumers perceive the value of the product. So, depending on the demand as well as the perceived value of the product, the consumers demand the product and the manufacturer has to price the product according to what the consumer is demanding or how much value, the perceived value the consumer is having for that particular product. In case of cost plus pricing, this type of pricing was done when the price was fixed after taking into consideration all the different type of costs. So, there are so many different type of costs like the fixed cost and the variable costs that we discussed. So, after calculating the total cost, which is the summation of the fixed and the variable cost, after taking the total of these two and then adding to the total cost a certain profit, then the price of the product is fixed. So, this is called cost plus pricing, or it is also called the markup pricing. Then we talked about competition based pricing. In the competition based pricing, we had discussed that this pricing is based on what the competitor is doing. So, in industries like oligopoly, where there are few players and the few players are capturing the market and serving so many customers, competition based pricing is practiced. So, this is based on the competitor's price. So, whatever the competitor is charging for the product, that particular company will also move around competitor's price. So, that is called competition based pricing, and we see it in the aviation and telecom industry particularly. Then there was a point discussed which was market based pricing. So, in this point suppose there are two markets A and there is a market B. So, market A the price would be rupees X, while in market B the price of the same product would be rupees Y. So, this was market based pricing, wherein a product was sold at two different prices in two different markets. So, there are again a number of factors which are taken into consideration, and then this differential pricing is done. So, this was market based pricing, and then last but not the least we studied about bundle pricing. So, there is an article A and there is an article B and there is an article C. So, suppose article A, B and C are combinedly sold for rupees 100. So, if the individual prices of A, B and C are 40 rupees each. So, if we purchase A, B and C individually, we will have to pay rupees 120, that is 40 plus 40 plus 40. But there is a bundle of these three articles available and the bundle is being sold for rupees 100. So, this type of pricing was bundle pricing, in which multiple products were available collectively for a lesser sum of rupee than the addition of individual prices for those products. So, after covering all these pricing strategies, today we move on to some more pricing strategies. So, let me just read out the names of these pricing strategies that we are going to cover today, and then we will look into each of these pricing strategies in detail. So, the first strategy that we will discuss about is skimming pricing. Then we are going to talk about penetration pricing, and as a matter of fact skimming pricing and penetration pricing are just opposite to each other. Then we will talk about dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is becoming very popular these days, and we are seeing dynamic pricing in the case of airlines. We are seeing dynamic pricing in the case of trains. We are seeing dynamic pricing in the case of cinemas. So, this is becoming very popular, and dynamic pricing maximizes the profit for the organization. Then we will look into what psychological pricing is all about. So, there is a 99 factor that we will talk about while studying psychological pricing. From psychological pricing, we will move to project based pricing. So, there is a project and then there is a bidding for the project. So, a particular price is being charged by the service provider for that particular project. So, we will take a look into what project based pricing is all about. And then we will also talk about freemium pricing. Now, this is made of two words. So, freemium is actually made of two words, free plus premium. So, we will try to understand what the combination of these two words, free and premium, that is freemium, means. So, now let me take one by one the subsequent slides, and then one by one we are going to understand these strategies and talk about them with examples. So, first of all we are going to talk about skimming pricing. So, the first point of the slide says that in this strategy a highest possible price is charged when the product is new and the price is lowered down with the passage of time. So, this kind of a strategy is adopted when the product is a novel product or a new product in the market. So, we can think about the time when laptops were launched in the market way back 20 years back, around 18 to 20 years back, when laptops were launched in the market. So, at that time the prices of the laptops were extremely high. The prices of mobile handsets were normally extremely high at the time they were launched. So, if we talk about a laptop which is costing rupees 25,000 to 30,000 today, the laptops of let us say year 2005 or year 2004 were way far more costlier than the laptops of today, which were having less capacity, they were having less memory, etc., but still the price was much more than the price of today. The reason of this was that because at that time there were very few laptops in the market, and laptop was considered as a technologically advanced gadget. So, because of its novelty, I should say, novelty is the property of being new. So, because of the novelty factor, the price of that product or the price of that laptop was extremely high. And with the passage of time, as the time passed, other competitors also came in. So, there were so many companies that entered the market of laptop manufacturing, and today we see that a lot many companies are manufacturing laptops, and therefore, the laptops are abundantly available in the market. So, we go to any computer shop and we will find 5 or 6 different variety of laptops in different price ranges, and these prices are also not as high as the prices of those times. So, as the time goes on, as the time passes, the price of the product then comes down, because competitors come in, better substitutes are made available, and even that particular product sometimes also becomes very unpopular with the consumer. So, the company has to lower down the price in order to achieve substantial sales. So, this is what it means. So, we have one example of laptop, but we can observe skimming pricing in many areas. We can observe skimming pricing in the case of mobile phones also. So, when a company's mobile phone is new and it has got some novel feature, let us say a very advanced quality camera or a very high battery life, then the price of that mobile is generally high from the average market price when the mobile is launched. But as the time passes and other competitors also come in with the same features and with a very high quality camera and very high battery life, then this particular company that had charged very high prices early on, it lowers down the price, and then in due passage of time the price kind of normalizes. So, this is how skimming pricing works. The advantage of skimming pricing is that it gives a lot of revenue and it gives a lot of increased profits to the company early on. So, if the product is technologically advanced and it substitutes, or if the product is entirely new or the service is entirely new in the market, then in the beginning only price skimming will give a lot of revenue as well as a lot of profit to the company that practices skimming pricing. Second point says the price is lowered down because the product becomes less popular and better substitutes are available. So, in case of laptops also, in case of phones also, in case of many other telecom services also, so this kind of things work. Skimming pricing can help recover sunk cost. Now, here we have to understand what sunk cost means. So, sunk costs are basically those costs which are borne by a company and which cannot be recovered. So, the costs which have already been borne. So, before launching the product, the company has to bear so many costs. So, the costs, the total costs which have been borne by the company even before the product is launched in the market, and the costs which cannot be recovered. So, these are called sunk costs. So, if skimming pricing is practiced, then sunk costs are recovered very quickly. So, that is what the point says, that skimming pricing can help recover sunk costs very quickly, because in skimming pricing the prices are higher than the market average. So, a lot of revenue and lot of profit is earned by the company that practices skimming pricing. Then the last point says that this strategy is best for technology based products or services. Example, telecommunication services were sold at premium at one time. So, it is a fact that this kind of a pricing can be practiced by the companies that manufacture electronic gadgets, that manufacture technologically advanced products. So, there was a time when telecommunication services were extremely costly in our country, and if we talk about the time, then even there was a charge which was to be paid by the consumer for incoming calls. So, such high was the cost of telecom services, because the telecom services were not abundantly available. But today we see that there are so many telecom operators and there is so much of competition between them, that telecom services are available at a very nominal rate to the consumers, and the consumers are benefited with it. So, with the passage of time and with the entry of new operators and with the entry and with the availability of better technology, the costs have gradually come down. So, this is about skimming pricing, wherein the price is higher than the market average initially, and as the time goes, the price tends to reduce and comes down, and better products and substitutes are also available. So, after skimming pricing, we are going to talk about penetration pricing. Penetration pricing is a very normally followed strategy for many companies and for many product categories, and penetration pricing is just opposite to skimming pricing. So, skimming pricing was had the feature of launching the product at a very high price and then bringing the price down with the passage of time, while just the opposite happens when penetration pricing is practiced. So, in penetration pricing, as the second point says, the companies enter the market with extremely low price to take the attention of the consumer. So, in order to grab the initial pie from the market, or in order to grab the attention of the consumer from its competitors, companies enter the market with an extremely low price, and what happens is that as the time goes, the company increases the price. So, it tends to increase the price with the passage of time, and as the company sees that it has acquired substantial market share and it has acquired substantial consumer base, it tends to increase the price. So, this strategy is suitable only in the short run and is not sustainable. So, entering the market with a very low price is actually not very sustainable, because the company needs substantial profits to prosper and function in the longer run. So, if the company continues with the same low price strategy, then it will become a loss making organization, it will suffer losses and it will not be able to sustain itself. So, penetration pricing is okay when the company is new in the market and it wants to capture the market share and get consumer base, but it has to be followed only in the short run, because in the long run it has to make substantial profits for its normal functioning. So, this is what it is, and the last point says that in the longer run the prices are gradually increased. So, there is a gradual increase in price as the time progresses, and the strategy is based on disruption and temporary loss, hoping to gain a good market share. So, basically market share is what the companies are looking for while following this strategy. So, they are ready to bear temporary loss, they are ready to operate in loss for a short time in order to get a market share, and as soon as they get that market share, they gradually then increase the price of their services or of their products. So, here I would like to take the example of telecom services, and we can speak of Jio, or we can also speak of Reliance Telecom ADAG Group Telecom Services. So, when this company entered the market, it entered with a very lower price, but gradually as the time progressed, the price increased. So, they had to increase the price in order to stay profitable. Then we talk about dynamic pricing. Now, dynamic pricing is also known as the surge pricing, demand pricing, or time based pricing. So, dynamic pricing is the type of pricing strategy where prices are fixed according to the demand of the consumer, and as the demand of the consumer goes up, the price also goes up, and as the demand comes down, the price also comes down. So, if we are booking airline tickets and if we are booking railway tickets, then we generally observe that if the date of the travel is 3 months ahead, or let us say we are booking tickets 4 months in advance or 3 months in advance, then we find that the prices are low. But if we are booking train tickets or plane tickets let us say 1 week in advance or 2 days in advance, then we see that the prices have gone up. So, this kind of a pricing is called dynamic pricing. In case of cinema halls also dynamic pricing is observed, that if we book a cinema ticket 5 days in advance, the ticket price is low, while if we buy the ticket on the same day, the prices are high. So, this kind of a pricing strategy is called dynamic pricing. It is a flexible pricing strategy where prices fluctuate based on the market and customer demand. So, here if the demand goes up, the prices also goes up. So, demand is directly proportional, price is directly proportional to the volume of demand. And there are some examples written here, like hotels, airlines, event venues and utility companies use dynamic pricing. Hotels and airlines, we can normally observe that dynamic pricing is followed by applying algorithms. So, mathematical algorithms are applied and thus dynamic pricing is followed, and so many factors like the competitors pricing is also considered. So, to conclude, in dynamic pricing, the prices are changing, they are fluctuating depending on the demand of the customer, and as the demand goes up, the prices also goes up, and this is managed through complex algorithms, complex mathematical algorithms. Coming to psychological pricing, psychological pricing is what sounds like it targets the human psychology to boost sales. So, we must have seen that when we go to purchase clothes, then instead of 600, the label on the cloth, the price label is, let us say, rupees 599, or instead of 650, the price label is sometimes 549. So, 599 or 549. So, there is always a 99 effect here. So, in example also it is mentioned that there is a 9-digit effect. So, it gives a feeling that the prices are low. So, instead of writing 600, it is written 599. So, difference is only of 1 rupee, but it gives a psychological feeling to the consumer that the prices are low. So, customers may see this as a good deal simply because of the 9 factor in the price. So, this is one way of psychologically pricing the product, and there is another example here some offer can be given, like buy one get one on 50% off, or buy one get one free. So, buy one get one free, or buy one and get the other product at 50% off or 60% off is also a kind of psychological pricing. So, these deals make the customers feel as though the circumstances are too good and they should purchase the product. So, if some kind of strategy is played like this, then it gives the customers a feeling that the deal is extremely good and they should not let this deal go out of their hands, and they should therefore purchase the product. So, this is psychological pricing. Then we have another type of pricing strategy which is called project based pricing. Now, project based pricing is normally applied in the case of services. So, if there is a project of writing something, or a consultancy project, or an accountancy project, or some kind of a designing project. So, in those kinds of projects, this pricing can be applied. So, let us understand what happens in this. The first point says that a project based pricing strategy charges a flat fee per project instead of direct exchange of money for time. So, suppose the project has to last for 20 days, or let us say the project has to last for a month. So, instead of charging per day, or instead of charging on a time basis, hourly basis, or a daily basis, the service provider will charge a flat fee for the entire project. So, that is what happens in a project based pricing. It is used by many of the service providers such as consultants, freelancers, contractors, and other individuals who provide business services to the organization or individuals. Project based pricing may be estimated based on the value of the project deliverables. So, deliverables are basically the things that have to be delivered. So, if the deliverables are of high value, then higher fees can be charged for the project, while if the deliverables are of low value, then a lesser fees can be charged by the project executor. And those who choose this pricing strategy may also create a flat fee from the estimated time of the project. So, time is one factor on which the fees can be based, or the value of the deliverables can be a factor on which the fees is based. But then the characteristic is that there is a flat fee for the entire project instead of charging money on a time basis, like hourly basis, or a daily basis, or a weekly basis. So, this is project based pricing, and normally it is followed in the service industry by technicians, consultants, by freelancers who work on different projects. So, that is called the project based pricing. After project based pricing, we come to talk about freemium pricing. So, let us talk about freemium pricing. So, freemium pricing is basically made of two words, that is free and premium. So, we must have seen that suppose we are using some software. So, when we log on to the website and we try to download the software, then the website says that we can use the software for free for 15 days. So, there is a trial version of the software which is available and we can use it for free for 15 days, and after that we will have to purchase a premium version or we will have to purchase the full version. So, the difference between the free version and the full version is often of features. So, the free version is having less features, while the premium version or the full version is having more features than the free version. So, this is called freemium, where the product is made available to the consumer for free for some time, and after that time expires, the consumer is expected to purchase the premium version of the product, and then the consumer is expected to upgrade himself to buy the premium version or the costlier version of the product, which is having more features. So, the consumer might not be able to use the product after that particular time, or he might be able to use the product only when he buys the premium version. So, that is what happens in this type of pricing. So, the first point says that a combination of the words free and premium. Freemium pricing is when companies offer a basic version. So, a very basic or a nominal version of the product is made available, and this is made available hoping that users will eventually pay to upgrade or access more features. So, we can observe it in case of OTT platforms also. So, in case of OTT platforms, these are made available to the user for free for, let us say, 2 days, after which the consumer is no more able to use them, and the consumer is expected to pay a fee or a price in order to use those OTT platforms. So, freemium is a pricing strategy commonly used by software such as SaaS and other software companies. In most of the softwares, we have the licensed versions. So, let us try to understand it like this. So, the licensed version of the software are the full versions. So, for using the softwares, the user has to purchase the license, and license charges the user has to pay. So, license charges are actually the price for using these software products. So, before the user purchases the licensed version, the user is given a trial version for some days, so that he can try the product and he can see the features and what is the utility of the software to the consumer. But after the trial version expires, the user is expected to pay money and purchase the licensed version. So, the licensed version will be the premium version and the trial version would be the free version, and combination of these two will be called as the freemium. So, freemium pricing works like that. Last point says that they choose this strategy, the organizations, the companies choose this strategy because free trials and limited memberships offer a peek into a software's full functionality. So, the users who use the trial version, they get a feel of the full functionality and they come to understand the software well. So, after that they can decide whether they have to purchase the premium version or they do not have to use the software. So, this was about freemium version, and now after discussing the freemium pricing, let us take a recap of this lecture. So, today we talked about some strategies such as skimming pricing. So, skimming was when the price was higher than the market average. So, in this the price of the product was higher than market average initially, and after the passage of time the price was gradually lowered by the company. Exactly opposite happened in penetration pricing, where the product price was low initially and then the company raised it gradually as the time passes. While in dynamic pricing, the prices are not they do not remain constant. In dynamic pricing, the prices keep on changing depending upon the demand of the consumer and some other factors. So, we can observe dynamic pricing in the case of airlines and trains and cinema halls. In case of psychological pricing, the 9-factor works. So, instead of charging 100 rupee, the company decides to price the product at 99. In case of project based pricing, the flat fee for an entire project is charged by the project executor, and it works in service industry. And in freemium pricing, it is a combination of free and premium, wherein the trial version is made available first, and then the full version is made available to the consumers who choose to purchase it. So, covering these strategies, I come to the end of this lecture. Thank you so much. In case of any issues, you can write down to me at on my email ID, that's ashashish.awasthi@imsec.ac.in. Thank you so much.